What's up, Super Players? It's the homie C-Rod, and in today's video, I'm gonna be telling you how you can get started in Dragon Ball Super card game without breaking the bank. Meaning, you do not have to waste that much money to get invested in Dragon Ball Super card game, and you'll still have very themed type of decks. I'm not saying you're gonna go to the tournament and be like, hoorah, I'm gonna take first place with my $10 deck. I don't know about that. But the beautiful part about Dragon Ball Super card game is that it can actually happen. And then you're the one that makes the cards expensive. It's actually happened a lot. So in Dragon Ball Super card game, I'm going to start off with one of the first decks that I saw that you could make in DBS TCG. And is a very popular character in Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball, and it happens to be this Piccolo. As you guys can see right now on the screen, I have this green-yellow Piccolo Namekian's deck. It was made by Super Saiyan Blue GOG 3T4. pretty interesting name. But yeah, this guy managed to make a deck, and this is real time how much the prices cost on each different card. So as you guys can see, we have, you know, Piccolo, the leader right here. And if you're a Piccolo fan, $6, guys, $6 freaking dollars, and you can get started in Dragon Ball Super card game. All I gotta say is like, oh, I want to play Dragon Ball Super card game. You got $6. Here you go, cha-ching. You pop yourself a Piccolo deck, and now you can go to your local tournament and, you know, hopefully not scrub out. But as you guys can see, let's see what's in here. So we got Dende's. This is literally the starter deck that you get, the, you know, Namekian starter deck, only with some of the new yellow cards in here. And as you can see, we actually have a very themed type of deck. We got Piccolos, we got promos in here, we got Piccolo Jr., we got the super rares in here, Piccolo fused with nails, you got nails in here. So this deck right here is, you know, an actual Piccolo deck. Very themed to the deck. $6, all yours. Make sure you guys use the link in the description where it says buy Dragon Ball Super cards cheap, and buy your cards there so you can get them pretty cheap. After that, as you guys can see, we got Amira, an android. That's what this deck was called, by Bay Cannon. And it's a Mira deck. This is literally a full-on Mira deck. If you guys don't know who Mira is, it's a character from Dragon Ball Heroes, if I'm not mistaken. But we got Mira for $4, guys. $4. You know, you could build this Mira themed deck that you could go to a local tournament and try out, and who knows, you might steal some wins. And as you guys can see, this Mira deck right here, the Dark Warrior Mira, it's very themed to, you know, Mira. As you guys can see, this deck has a lot of Miras. It has promos in there, it has super rares in there, you know, Dimension Breaker Mira, it has expansion cards, promos in here. So it has pretty cool cards in here. It just happens to be that they're cheap at the moment until, you know, eventually somebody finds a crazy deck and everyone starts buying that super rare that costs 10 cents at the moment. That's how Dragon Ball Super card game is. But $4, guys, you can build this Mira deck. Or if you want to get a little bit more pricier and go to the $10 route. I know, $10. Holy cow, we're starting to drop some bank on this card game. Once you get a little bit invested and you realize this game is really fun, you know, you'll eventually want to drop $10. And we got Trunks Overrealm by Super Saiyan Blue GOG 3T4. So it's looking like it's another deck build by this Super Saiyan Blue guy. He makes pretty cheap decks. We got a $10 deck right here. And it's a very themed type of deck. As you guys can see, it is Trunks, literally Trunks Overrealm type of deck. We have red cards in here because the leader does require you to have red blue in the deck. So we got some red cards, we got some blue cards, and we got a bunch of Trunks themed type of cards. We got the Negate that has Trunks in it. We got the Overrealm Trunks in here. We got the, you know, super rare Trunks in here. We got some promo cards in here, some Dash Pack Bardocks. So as you guys can see, we have super rares in here, and it's very themed to, you know, Trunks, Xeno Trunks, and it has the cards required to actually function with some super rares and some expansion cards sprinkled in there. So this by far is not a bad, you know, deck. $10, guys. You got a Xeno Trunks deck. That's pretty fun. Now, another deck that you can also make is Gogeta. If you're, you know, ever buy yourself the starter deck Gogeta, pretty much just costs $10. You can buy yourself the starter deck Gogeta, pimp it out a little bit, add some super rares in here, and you can build this Gogeta deck made by Bot Yeetier 2988. But it's $12. Now let's see what's in here. We got some, you know, Gogeta Hero Revive, the 7-drop, which is the ultimate playmaker of the, you know, Gogeta starter deck. So you could even sprinkle a couple of those in here. It's not even that expensive. We got Ultimate Fusion Gogeta, the one that comes in the starter deck. So, you know, we got Goku's and Vegeta's, the promotional starter deck cards that, you know, you could only get from the starter deck. So it's looking like you could build a pretty decent deck. You got super rares, expansion rares, or whatever you call them. There's a bunch of good cards in here, and it looks like a functioning deck. So for $12, you could go with Gogeta. Another one you could go with is Android 13, made by Richie Pro 2010. $12, guys. 12 freaking dollars, and you could get yourself started with an Android 31. I'm a little dyslexic. Android 13 type of deck right here, and as you can see, it's a very themed type of deck. It has Android 13s. It has the Android 13 engine where you absorbs the, you know, androids. I don't even know if this deck could function. I see, yeah, it does. It has the 14 and 15 androids right here that you put in the drop. Allows you to draw into the Android 13, which plays you the super rare Android 13s. So it's a very themed type of deck. It's literally running the Android 13 engine, and it's relatively cheap, guys. $12, get an Android 13 deck. You could wreck some people with this. I feel like this could actually even beat some meta decks. I don't know, but for a fact, it's, you know, very themed. So $12 right there. Another one that's, I think, is a little bit more consistent and can actually get you W's in, you know, the tournaments. We got the Announcer by Verdant, and this Announcer deck is $14. It's getting slightly more expensive, guys. You're getting to that $15 range, you know, but what we have right here is the Announcer for $14. And let's look at what's in here. We got, you know, we actually got super rares in here, guys. We got the Supreme Showdown Goku with the Supreme Showdown Vegeta, which are insanely powerful on their own. Like, holy cow, they do some damage. So that's a finisher within the deck. And we got, you know, World Tournament Arenas to boost up your World Tournament cards. And as you guys can see, we also got the Oob and Goku engine, which are consistent pressure. This deck right here for $14, you're getting a pretty decent, powerful deck that could actually, I feel, win. And you got double strikes to finish off the job. This deck is looking really, really good. $14, guys. You can't go wrong with $14. Another $14 deck happens to be Ribrianne. And Ribrianne, if you want to make a Universe 2 type of deck, I think she's Universe 2, you could build it for $14. Now let's look at what's in here. I'm pretty sure it's themed to the Universe 2, you know, anime, and it is, you know, in Dragon Ball Super Universe 2, it has all the Universe 2 members. So if you're a Universe 2 fan and you want to get into Dragon Ball Super card game, you can build literally a Ribrianne Maiden of Anger type of themed deck that runs just like the anime would. And then you got, you know, your super rare, and you got your promotional tournament pack Ribrianne in there as well to finish off the job. This deck actually doesn't look bad at all. It looks really, really cool. You know, there you go. $14 or whatever it costs, you got a Ribrianne deck. That's not bad. Now, I know Majin Buu, I was looking for a good Majin Buu deck. We got Majin Buu by Evan89 right here. $14 also, but it's Majin Buu. You know, I know there's a lot of Majin Buu fans out there in the world. So I found a Majin Buu deck that's $14, and as you can see right here, it's literally themed Majin Buu. We got, you know, Majin Buu's promos, expansion cards, anniversary cards, or whatever. We got, you know, the ultimate box cards featured in here. We got super rares, Go Tank, super rare, Majin Buu the finishers, a bunch of little Majin Buus, rares. So you can literally build a full-on Majin Buu deck with just get the Majin Buu engine, and it's relatively cheap. The most expensive card I think happens to be this super rare Miraculous Comeback Ultimate Gohan. But you know, you could also run the super rare Majin Buu. So Majin Buu within the engine, relatively cheap. And if you're a Majin Buu fan, you can get into the game and build a Majin Buu deck super cheap. You know, obviously you buy the expensive cards to make it more better, redundant, make it better. But another one, we got Android 17 and 18 right here. See, as you guys can see right here, this is $16. You got Android 17s, Android 18s, you got super combos, you got awakening cards, you got good negate, shocking death balls, we got forceful cell, you know, the cheap cell you can throw into the deck. So this is 17 and 18 themed deck right here. If you're a 17 and 18 Android fan, you're not trying to break the bank, and you want to get into Dragon Ball Super card game, here you go. You got a super themed Android deck that probably does steal some games here and there. I'm not gonna say you're gonna be beating the most meta deck baby with this, but you'll steal some games, you know. I can see you beating Hatchiak or something like that. And then last but not least, I don't want to make this video too long, but we got, you know, Bardock. I was gonna say Bojack. Bardock right here for, you know, almost getting to the $20 range. And it's a very themed deck, you know. We got Bardocks, we got Apes in here, we got Striker Bardocks, super rares, you know, it's very themed to the anime. It's very themed to the character, and it's, you know, this one costs almost $20, but it looks like a lot of fun. I'm looking at the deck right now, and I'm like, damn, I want to build this and play it just for fun, you know. I don't know if I'm gonna go to top regionals with this deck. You gotta throw in the expensive cards in here, but you know, for almost 20 bucks, you got a Bardock Apes deck for fun, you know. Dragon Ball Super card game can be breaking the bank, but it doesn't really have to. And I noticed most of the decks that are relatively cheap are the super themed decks where, like, let's say you're playing Bardock, you're literally just running all the Bardock themed cards. If you're playing androids, you're literally playing like an Android themed deck. If you're playing Majin Buu, you're literally playing a Majin Buu themed deck. So the more themed you get within the archetype, the cheaper it tends to come out. You know, if you want to get expensive, then that's when you start adding like the Topos, and you start adding the, you know, Ultra Instincts, and you start adding the Piccolos, and you start adding the Vegetas. You know, once you start making the deck expensive to make it competitive, that's when, you know, Dragon Ball Super card game gets a little pricey. But other than that, you could play the game for cheap and have a really good time with buddies, you know. And then if you really want to make it competitive, you know, that's when you drop those big bombs in the deck and the secret rares and all that. But if you want to get into the game relatively cheap, get your hands wet in the game, you'll have a really good time. Just huge warning, if you get addicted and then 5 months I see you in buying like $500 cards because you're trying to win. But that's gonna be in the video. Like, comment, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Hit that subscribe button, join the super player army, become a super player yourself, and like we always say, y'all stay super.